When?
Yeah, before we switched off.
Yeah, but which station coming south for Ndlovu? Which station coming south for Ndlovu? Now something else is on. Maybe we can open up. Now something else is on. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe we can see an elephant open up on an elephant. Let's see. Maybe we can see an elephant open up on an elephant. Well, good morning everyone, after a rocky start. Why it is that these things happen on a weekend is beyond me. It's quite uncanny that everything works fine and then suddenly nothing changes and suddenly the weekend comes and things don't work. But welcome to our live drive this morning, Saturday morning, the last day of, is it the last day of May or is it the first day of June? I forget. Reminds me I better switch my calendar off. My calendar might make a noise. Have we got all our cameras, Leon? Only one.
Well, I can probably get you on. Let me just check. I've got you another one as well.
This one?
Yeah, it's just very bright.
Okay, for some reason it's very bright. Might be because it's a bit misty. Okay, it's only camera one. Yes, it's frozen. I'll restart them. But anyways, we're looking at elephants, I hope, because you don't really need to see me. You see me from time to time anyway. And welcome to Thornybush Private Nature Reserve. My name is Mark. Leon is with me on camera. And Brian and Aaron back in FC, final control. And this hero is not being a hero today. This hero is being a jerk. Talking about the camera. This GoPro is not switching off for whatever reason.
So these elephants were making so much noise around our camp last night, eh?
Well, the noise I heard was far away. The noise I heard was, and I couldn't tell the direction, but there was one elephant that was screaming most of the night.
Running up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounded frantic or I don't know, it was just weird. It was after having said the other day that I don't hear these elephants much last night, they made up for it. And I think it was just one individual that was trumpeting a lot.
Why are they breaking the trees?
For feeding, Leon. They require the bark and the branches of trees. It's vital to their diet. And as you notice how thick the bush is, it can handle it. What it also does is it leaves dead wood on the ground, which the termites then convert back into the smallest possible components so that trace elements can be returned to the soil and feed the other trees. Because as the trees grow, they deplete the soil of nutrients. And us humans, all we do is we cut trees down and burn them. And so that's why the Sahara became the Sahara, because it probably used all the wood for firewood and nothing went back into the soil. And after rain and wind, you get the topsoil washed away, and before you know it, you've got useless soil. So in a sense, it's reconstruction, or it's construct feeding. To us humans, it looks like it's destructive behavior, but it's not. It's actually consistent with some types of trees, certain species of trees, with the round-leaf teak, and we see how it is that they feed on the round-leaf teak. We'll see that the more they feed on it, the more it produces food for them. And you find these, it's like the mapani, it's like the rain trees up in East Africa. They do the same thing for certain trees that they need certain parts of. They practically farm. They have been part of the environment for millions of years. Their method of feeding has been unchanged for millions of years. What we had the picture a minute ago. Everything was working and now nothing's working. Sound is working. Camera 1 is working again.
Was that camera 1?
Yes, whatever you just did.
I think it's on actually. I'm recording this.
Okay, but I want to go because the lories are shouting.
Okay.
Ellies are not moving very far and we'll hear them and see them. I want to go and see why those go-away birds. But only that camera, number 1. I'm listening to them shouting because that is their alarm call. So they're alarming at something. Not too frantic. I'm not hearing other alarm calls, but I'd still like to go and have a look to see what it is that they might be shouting at. Matter of whether we're going to see them or not. Something was walking possibly on that upper road where the power line is. Have a circle. Yeah, they are. Impala haven't been alarming at all. And the Impala are relaxed. A little bit misty this morning, strange. We had clear skies at 6 o'clock. By 6:30 clouds had come over. Morning children. Impala. Kind of speak the word a little bit now. It's quite pretty, huh? We'll stop and just listen again. The rest of the herd are all running around this side to join them. So see, they're all looking that way. They can hear something back there. That's the area that I heard the go-away birds. Now these go-away birds are sitting in this tree next to us. Oh, they're all running. It would be great if we could just turn around quickly. Maybe get them on another road. I'm not seeing Billy. I didn't see him the other day either. But there are only 6 adults. There's 2 missing. Could be that Billy and his mom are not here. They're on that other road. Onto that road. Okay? through. Well, it looks like Billy is no longer Billy. Well, Billy's not here. They're all 8 adults. There he is. So there are 9 adults now. Billy's still going. I'll try. Billy's still alive. Billy's doing strong. Doing well. Got all these aunties and daddy and mommy to look after him. I hope. Also, there've been no lion here, and the leopard haven't been moving around much in this part the last week or so.
He's quite vulnerable, eh?
Yeah. His saving grace is that they keep him in the middle of the herd most of the time, but especially now because we're here. But he seems to stick quite close to Mom. That's why when I saw those other 2 adults coming across the road and he wasn't with any of them, it's kind of hard to recognize which one is his mother unless he's with her, or unless she's on. I'd have to find some distinguishing feature of her as there she is. Okay, so there's nothing there. Let's move on. I want to see if the cat's moving around. I want to try and find them. Bye, boys and girls. nothing here. I don't know, they were crying wolf, those grannies. Crying lion. Yeah. Let's go back down to those lilies. And we'll head on and see what else we can find. Time being, while we have the elephants around us, make the most of it, especially since we spend a lot of time not seeing anything. Go, Hannes. Yeah, so okay, it's still about 200 meters north of the gate. There's an old 2-track that runs parallel to the entrance roads. Let's lead to the entrance roads. They're down there. I just did a loop around to that old kayak because I had some neon colouring. I'm heading back to the door myself. Okay, stop it. Yeah. Well, suddenly it's working properly. Now it's on 32 and not 0 again. So it's smart. Photo of me. I think it's because I can't switch off the primary GoPro. I can only switch off the other one for some reason. Okay, we've come too far. We'll go back for those lilies. Or otherwise we could go. Pardon? Moon? You mean the sun? Where's the moon? The moon's up here somewhere because it's last quarter. Look at that mist across there. Or in the distance. That's the sun. Clouds thicker than one thinks. Yeah. Going away for the weekend. This guy this morning. Let's stick in the road. Once before. doing things and the camera's very busy, it's hard to get to things like that. And I know there were times when we could have, but if you are watching, and I could always have those questions sent in now for the sake of other people, but it would be nice to know if the people who are watching are the ones that sent in the questions, or actually the other way around. And if you sent questions in and I didn't get to them, and that you're watching this morning, just resend the question. Excuse me a second. My morning sneezes. I think we'll be able to get through all of this tortillas in Malatika. This will probably be coming up on the back of the herd now. Looking Eric. What's happening? Yeah, probably thank you. See, another consequence to elephants feeding and pushing trees over, especially bigger trees, is the fact that new trees need protection, and especially the thorn trees. The thorn trees, when they're pushed over, provided the massive branches provide a cover for new growth for several years to allow new trees to grow. Otherwise they get trodden on or they get eaten before they even reach their first year. Morning everyone. Might be a little bit too blown out looking into the sun like that. They will move in front of us. Come and say hello. All the way from the river. Toronto. What do you remember? His name. Good morning, Linda. Nice to hear from you. How are you doing? Linda's asking whether I think the mammoths of the past had similar behavior to our modern day elephant. It's quite possible, Linda. I would. No, I'd think so. Of course, that's the one thing that becomes very difficult to establish, to find, to figure out. Look, here's the old girl with her floppy ear. Left. Used to know a bull for many, many years at home. Since I was a kid I knew him. I haven't seen him for about 10, 15 years, but happens every now and then. I'm not too sure of the cause. Could be a birth defect, could be something that happens at birth maybe. I'm really not sure of reasons why. But I'd imagine that the mammoths were just as maternal and just as caring and just as intelligent. Good morning, my girl. An old lady. It'd be nice if they could come past us because there's beautiful light on the side of us now. No, they're coming. Here's the little girl with the lost the tip of her trunk. Hello, little child. Hello, old lady. Good morning to you. Misty camera. Hello, baby. Yeah, the whole herd's now going to come moving up past us. Oh, and the wildebeest are coming down to see us. What a lovely morning. There's the purple-crested taraka calling. Oh, beautiful light. Yeah, about the other cameras, but hello, baby. Yeah, I could pinch your bum if I wanted to. And this is the old girl who was our first elephant that we met. Rob that day. And since you met us, you want to ignore us now, is that it? Hello? And I look around and suddenly the wildebeest are gone again. Starting to get to know this herd. The floppy ear, that one that's just come by. There are two that have big nicks out of their left ear. There's that one down there that's got the big hole in her right ear. Yeah. climbing my elephant. Maybe we get Billy with the elephant. That might be.
That's the old Mexico.
There's Billy coming behind this old girl. Gonna push that tree, no? Just getting the bark. Maybe we can get that, but she's using her tusk to pry the bark off of that terminalia. Nice. Thorns or no thorns? Yeah, this little one's going to try and... What you going to do, girl? You going to try and get bark, or you just going to try and break? Trying to get its tusk, trying to get its tusk into the bark to strip the bark. The elephant is actually climbing up the tree. That was incredible. You couldn't have seen that. Hello, little boy. Hello, Al, in Florida. So this little boy was also one of the first, if not one of, he is the first. Look, 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 look. See, when they're all over, we just don't know where to point the camera. When in doubt, use your foot. No, really, little one? Elle in Florida, Ellen. Wanting to know how old the youngest elephant is. I'm not sure who the youngest one is, but I'd say the youngest Ellie here is probably about 6 or 7. Hello, little boy. Hello. Stretch your trunk to the camera, please. Trunk's up. Just this light. You're determined to get that tree, aren't you? Lift your foot. Stand on it. Get close up underneath of it. I need to see what she's doing. Yeah, she got a piece. Now it's going to try and get the bark off of it. You got to stand on it, little one, and then stick it. I know that I'm not an elephant. There we go. Now, yep, bite it. Pull the trunk. Yeah, it's getting there. Bite it. Pull the trunk. Pull the bark off. Or just chew. really. Sorry, he's not very right here. No. This is the one's going over there to get it. And now walks away. I was going around the back to get to the branches. Yeah. Well, there are a lot of them here. It's Tortellus forest, and the lights can be wrong. There's a good chance the tree will still grow because its roots are still in the ground. It's broken a few of the roots. Okay. No, it can't. The light's all wrong. Mark Jagger? Yeah, fun. Yeah, so keep coming. We might even be visual from the road now because they are coming out of the Thornybush forest. Hello Jim, nice to hear from you again. Jim's asking if elephants can sense if we're afraid of them. I reckon they probably, well, just like anything, any of the other animals can, very much so. Our aura changes, our energy field changes, and animals pick up on things that we can't, and I'm quite certain that they do. I think that also has a lot to do with elephants knowing people and knowing what our reaction will be if we're consistent about our behavior as we are here in Thornybush. That's why I'm comfortable letting them move close to the vehicle the way they do. Show no fear. Yes. Yeah. I'm quite sure those wildebeest will come down here for protection. Yeah, they hang out with the ellies. They know that there's no cats coming. I tell you, when I'm in the bush, which I live, I'm always in the bush. But whenever there are elephants around me, I feel like I'm the safest person on the planet. Move a little bit. So those two playing in the sun over there. Another tree going. What up, little boy? It's nice if you can get a close-up of her stripping the bark. The way they strip bark, you can see how she's guiding her tusk with her trunk and wedging her tusk under the bark, and then as soon as she lifts a little bit off, she grabs it with her trunk. But what she's trying to do, which is not going to happen because it's a buffalo thorn, is she's trying to get it to a point where she can just strip it and pull it off its strips. Now I'm also convinced that elephants use bark of different trees for different reasons. You see, she's ambidextrous, this one. She's using left and right tusks. Yeah. She's using both left and right tusks. And if she ring barks this little buffalo thorn, which she's about to do, it is going to be history. Not a very stringy bark like some of the acacias and baobabs. It's just coming off in little pieces. This makes me think that she's using it for some reason. They must have an incredible knowledge of the use of plants for different things.
Do they use it for medicinal reasons?
Yeah. For what, I don't know. I don't know what it does for them. But it's not a... It's just being pushed off by the older female, who is now going to have her take her turn. But this is also, it's like kids in a way, in that when one kid's got a toy, everyone wants it. I've seen it even with animals too. Is that you want what you can't have, or what someone else has got. And maybe she also wants a bit of the bark.
I'm trying to deliver some really calm camera shots.
Yes.
But I've got to be quite fast to get all the action for the viewer.
Yeah.
And I don't have other cameras to cut over, so they must just forgive me for my...
Okay. Now let's just zoom out when you move the camera.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. That's one way to get at the bark if you can't get it. Good morning, Michelle. And a very interesting question indeed. Referring to the thorns that the elephants are eating, do the thorns not hurt the elephants? Do they not? Is it not uncomfortable for them to eat? Now, this is a wonderful thing about nature, Michelle, is that these are all things that have developed in nature together. The trees that are the most utilized of all, the ones that are highly palatable and the ones that have the most nutritional value, are the ones that have the thorns. And it's the act of animals feeding on them through time that has forced either leaves to become thorns or branches to become spines. But as that change took place in the plant kingdom, the animals that feed on them changed or adapted to those changes as well. And by doing that, they developed thick tongues and thick lips and thick palates and a resistance somewhat to the thorns. That's the end of that buffalo thorn. Well, I suppose it can be the end anyway, because it was ring-barked. And now, if we had to monitor this dead buffalo thorn and put a time-lapse camera here for the next few years, we'd see how slowly it decomposes. There would be insect-eating and seed-eating birds sitting on it, dropping seed and dropping more fertilizer, and seeds would then be able to germinate in those thorn branches and have a chance to grow. And if we have a look at this bare patch of ground in front of us, it's very difficult for a tree to grow there, because that's where animals walk and feed. So it's very important that these things happen. I mean, right here we've got a perfect example right next to me. Although this tree's still alive, barely. So let's move again. Another position. Understand? Nothing really now. Okay, we're going to leave these elephants because the other vehicles want to come in and see them, and I have had a habit of having elephant sighting. We're not going to get through here. I want to get through here. Maybe we can just squeeze through the side. If they move towards us. I'll wait until one of the vehicles gets here, and then we'll leave, because there's another one on its way, and we can go and look for something else. Okay, for some reason the camera's skewed. No, Aaron's saying it's been skewed the whole time. But we are sitting skewed right now. Centered on the horizon. Alright, but you can't do it now because we know. Alright, we can't do it now because I'm sitting at an angle anyway. We'll have to wait till I'm flat. But I suppose you just got to change it every time I stop at an angle. I'm just going to move up and left. Hi again, Linda. then they're wanting to know what circumstances would have had the elephant screaming the way it did last night. Gosh, that's a difficult one, Linda. It could be anything. Maybe anything that you might have suggested. Without seeing them, it would be very difficult to figure it out. But yes, excitement, not so much anger. There's a different scream for anger. Excitement, apprehension, fear to some degree, angst. It's really impossible to say. An elephant screaming and running could have been play, could have been. It's just really difficult to say. Ladies and Dover now moving up onto Ilkley Access Road. Okay, I'm going to leave it up to you. And who's on first? Okay, copy. Enjoy. Oh, take it out of here. I can't really move now because of her. It's not walking. Okay, bye-bye children. We'll see you later this afternoon. We'll find you back at the river. No doubt. I'm sure we'll find them at the river. Okay, here we go. Morning. Yeah, very nice way to start a day. The station's leaving Rockcombe and Dorm on Ilkley Access Road, Hannes unlocked. Donna, what is so tasty about tree bark? Is it full of nutrients? It is indeed. The bark of a tree, not so much the dry outer bark, but it's the soft, fibrous inner bark that has a number of benefits for elephants. One of the most important, of course, is the fact that it is fibrous and it acts as fiber. But tree bark, the inner bark of a tree, is what carries the nutrients and the moisture to the leaves. And at this time of the year, a lot of the trees are withdrawing a lot of nutrients and moisture from their leaves, to lose their leaves for the winter months. What is that noise? Can't be a puncture. Excuse me a second. dragging a leaf or something. No, I think we've got to listen. So it's partly because of maybe it's just nothing. Partly because of the fact that it's fibre and they need that fibre for their diet, but also because of the nutrients and the fact that, and the moisture content and the taste. Can you not hear anything? Like, but does it sound like air? Because I can't.
It sounds like it's something stuck in the car.
Oh, okay. Might be some leaves or something. I'll worry about it later. And if you look right under the car, maybe there's something on the prop shaft. How old is an elephant before they can reproduce? Question from Pat. That's Pat Williamson. Oh, look at this. I had to break it. Sorry, child. That's a pretty little web. Really, really sorry, child. Baby bark spider. So, this is an interesting question because they go through. Look at the branches here. Gee. Elephants don't want this road open. And they have to come out in here later and clear all of this up because this is our access, this is where we come in. They go through puberty about the same age as we do, so for females, for cows, elephant cows, even as young as 10, 12, when they go through puberty, but they shouldn't really have kids at that age. Normally they're into their late teens before they have their first child. Kind of sometimes depends on the area, population. Bulls, on the other hand, when they go through puberty at 12 to 14, are not allowed to mate. In fact, they they're actually prevented from mating until they're well into their 20s or 30s even, because the females, the matriarchs of the herd, will choose the biggest and most virile or largest bulls sometimes, and even females will even choose based on size of the elephant and the tusk size. You know, size of an elephant doesn't always indicate age, because just like us humans, you get big elephants and you get small elephants. It might be the same age, but there'll be difference. There'll be somewhat of there'll be a large difference in the size of different tusks, because that's all genetic. But also that as individuals, they don't necessarily all grow to exactly the same size. There are some individuals that are a lot bigger than others. It's like a bearing sound. No, that's a mechanical sound. It's not I thought it was a sound of air coming through the tires, but it's not. Well, no cat tracks down here. Yet. There aren't any cats this side of the river these days. So we're going to go across the river. Elsewhere. Hello, Joanne. Michigan, Joanne. And in Michigan. Notice that one of the ellies didn't have hair on its tail. Was that from being attacked? Or was it born that way? No, neither. They just, some of them, it's also somewhat genetic, but also it's just individuals. You know, some of them have very big tufts of hair, some of them have lost the hair. Oh look, piglets. We don't see piglets too often, and they're running away. As long as I stop, they'll stop. If I carry on, they're going to run into the bush. Some warthog. Come back to the road. Big mama, 2 new piglets and 1 old piglet. We should catch them at that next junction if we look up the road. Hey, it's also an some more water. An identification feature is the tufts of hair on the tail, because the tail it's somewhat club shaped at the end, but also somewhat flattened. So you have a tuft of hair that come on the inside and a tuft of hair on the outside. And for a short period now they've gone back into the bush, those water. Now they're on the road again. That's coming Carlo way up at the top of these monkeys. But no, it wouldn't be from an attack, wouldn't be from any untoward reason. Just that she maybe lost it, maybe they just shorted it. I'll look at that next time we look at the herd. I'll find it and be able to tell you. Let's take my jacket off. Too bulky. Warm as it is. Egyptian geese are making a bit of a noise. That sounds like it could be on Harmacorp Loop. We're sort of heading that way. I suppose we could. I don't know. Top of the tree, the crown of the tree is then not going to get any moisture, any nutrients, any life support, and so eventually the top of the tree dies. And for a lot of trees, if the top of the tree dies, the rest of the tree dies. Some trees are able to recoppice underneath the point where they ring bark, and it depends on how low down they ring bark. But not all trees can do that. Only some trees can recoppice. Hold time, because of that big step. There is one tree, there's only one tree that I know of that can survive, because it's in a, well, it's just a different tree, and that's the baobab. And you see how some of the baobabs are fed on by elephants and how they survive. It's quite remarkable. And I don't know how we're going to get through here, because Here we go. Thank you. Okay, here's a perfect example. This tree that we have here is a Terminalia sericea, the silver cluster leaf, silver leaf Terminalia. And have you been in the crown? I was going to come back to that. You can see how the crown has died on this tree because of the bark being stripped, and how just below where the bark has been stripped you can see how it's recoppicing. Let's see if we can find other examples. Okay. Unless we derive that there are guests that was a local. I mean, it might not have gone out. At the moment it's a cameraman. Maybe one day we'll have a camera woman, a camera person. BPC. I don't carry anything, Clarissa. I have to be honest, in a vehicle there's no real need, as far as I'm concerned. Could happen. Animals could get aggressive with us. Could have. But I guess I'm relying on my knowledge of their behavior and my experience of being with them to know not to get into sticky situations with them. So I don't carry a rifle. Of course, a lot of people have asked, why don't you? Sorry. Why don't you carry a dart gun? You don't even get that oxpecker on top of that piece of wood. Something in here. There's yeah. Must be an animal in here. A bunch of oxpeckers. Unless that could be where oxpeckers are nested. Because that's a youngster. I actually had a question about oxpeckers having brown bills instead of red. It's a different species, but it's not. It's just a young red-billed oxpecker. But back to Clarissa, and that what I was discussing was you can't carry a dart gun for a couple of reasons. First of all, the drugs that are used in the dart gun, the likes of M99 and others, Zolitol. No, I think M99. Zolitol was an old one, an old drug for those. They don't work fast enough. You see, the only time you're justified in using a weapon, I don't know if that's going to be looking into the sun. I must probably wipe that. Definitely wipe that. Wiped by something there. Now there's a spot. Yeah, lots of spots. Get the. Okay. Apart from the exorbitant cost of the drugs to dart an animal, it's the time that it takes for the animal to go down that is make it impossible to use drugs if you're in a sticky situation with an animal. You can't have a drug that is so fast acting that it works instantly, because that'll just stop the heart and the animal will die anyway. And the only time one is justified in using a weapon or using aggression to fight aggression is when that animal is less than 5 meters, within 10 to 15 feet of you. Any further away you're not justified, because there's always going to be the animal that stops there. Very often you get lion, leopard, elephant charging right up to within 4 or 5 feet of you. And the only time you're justified is when it's right in front of you and you know that you're not going to be able to protect your guests any longer, and that's when you would have to fire a shot. And we're talking split seconds here that it takes for the animal to be from 10 feet away to where you are, and no drug can work that fast. So that is out. What is effective and what will be, I believe, will be far better than rifle is pepper spray. It's not nice, but at least it becomes a reinforcing thing, that if an animal gets a little bit too aggressive and it gets a little bit of a pepper spray, like a bear spray, might change things. I used to carry a bear spray, well, it was a pepper spray. I used to be on overnight walking safaris in East Africa, and fortunately never had to use it. Old lion track. Old lion tracks. But in this reserve, where the animals are so accustomed to the vehicles, and the only vehicles that drive around are qualified guides, so the behavior is pretty consistent. The animals tend to know what the vehicles are going to be doing. Not that the vehicles are a stranger to them. Every animal that lives here has seen a vehicle. Okay? Some of them that might not like the vehicles don't stick around. They just disappear when they hear a vehicle. Different animals behave differently, but individuals behave differently on different days. One day you might find a leopard is willing to let you follow it or view it, and then you find it on another day and it just disappears into long grass because it doesn't want to be seen that day. Animals have their own characters and their own moods, but generally they all know the vehicles. They all know what we're about, and there's no real need for them to get very aggressive with us, I hope. Very interesting little flower here. Oh, it's bees. A lot of this little lobelia, and I still don't know what this lobelia is, but this, not a lobelia. Lots of flowers I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be possible to get that little purple. That's obviously still got to open. I'll just take the photograph. Pardon? Okay. I have no idea what this flower is. Only thing I can do is take it, but it also hasn't opened up. Macro lens. Gives me a chance to listen. Taking a photograph of a flower. One more. some more of those. I'll see if I can find it in my book. I've only got the one flower book. No, 2 flower books here. And I've been trying to source the other one on the net to order it, because if I'd ordered it, it would have been here already. There's a new one that I want to get. I'll try again today. Just haven't had internet the last few days. Haven't been able to get onto Facebook. Post any photos. Sorry, who's that from, Aaron? James was asking. Hi, James. James was asking, do the leopard birthing and mating season coincide with that of the impala? No. No. They don't really have a season. Cat will come into estrus if she doesn't get covered, if she doesn't fall pregnant. She'll come into estrus every couple of weeks until she does fall pregnant, and then each individual cat pretty much goes through its own cycles, where it's likely to fall. It'll have cubs after 3 months, and then it'll come into estrus again about 18, maybe 20 months after its litter is born, so that by the time its cubs are 2 years old, it's having its next litter. Pretty much that's how it goes. But the cats don't have a season as such. Ringbark terminalia, the recoppicing at the base. Not working. None of the GoPros are working. For whatever reason. Yeah, this front GoPro, the main GoPro, I can't even switch it off, and I think if I could switch it off and on again it might work, but it won't switch off at all. Back one's not working. Leon? Yeah. But it is sometimes it changes during the drive, so. And if you could switch them on and off. This is going to be the death of me, this earphone. Get out, let's go around that side. No. No, these are the charge me. Back is trying for. But for some reason it's just not switching off. And if I could switch off, reset. That's the master one, that's the primary. Sorry folks, we're just trying to get you different views, and we might just have to wait until we go back. Graham is coming in today, and you'll not doing anything. That one's switching off fine. Anyway, let's finish the drive and we'll worry about it when we get back. Hello Ed, in New York. Ed in New York. Asking a question similar to a lot of questions that have been asked. But I'm going to have to brush it off in a way. Because the question is, how does Thornybush, as a fenced-in reserve, as a self-contained reserve, deal with the management of the population? And I don't know, I can't answer that. I have to speak to the warden. I have to, and also the management policies of Thornybush. Actually, I don't know, might not be having a great signal here. And how is the signal? Wait to get past. No, it's always choppy here. So this is the limit. The Tell me when it's strong again. Sorry, Ed, to keep you waiting, but there was a little bit of a choppy area just to get here. I'm kind of avoiding questions about management policies of Thornybush Game Reserve because I can't say. Avoiding them because I just have to say I don't know. And until I chat to I'm waiting, we're still trying to set up a meeting. Graham will be here shortly today. And I'm hoping to set up a meeting with people here at Thornybush who've been here for a long time, as well as the warden, so that I can learn a little bit about it. But the thing is, we're here for such a short period of time. I just want to concentrate on the animals and not worry about the logistics and and that side of things. It's been many years, been more than 20 years since I've managed or even lived in a self-contained reserve, and even then it wasn't for a very long period. And even then we had leopard, didn't have lion, and the population of prey species versus leopard was sufficient. The leopard was self-regulating. It didn't have to meet the management law. And I think as far as the leopard are concerned here, it doesn't. But I'd rather not comment because I don't know, and I'd rather not even speculate as to how things happen, because people will think that is how it happened, and I don't want to get rumors started about what Thornybush is doing. So until such time as I can get a clearer idea of the management. The thing is that, reserve management is reserved for management. It kind of detracts from the whole experience of being here with the animals to worry about how they manage population. It's a big enough reserve that the lion population isn't that big, and obviously there is a time that they're going to have to look at. I don't know, let's change the subject, because I don't know. Heron in the tree near the dam. I would expect heron should be fishing in the dam, not in the tree. Maybe there's something at the dam that's making the heron sit in a tree, the top of a tree. Coming up to one of the dams that we can see with our signal area. Fortunately, not for the others. There are a lot of signal breaks to get to those dams, even if we might have a signal at the dam. Better to maintain signal as long as we can. nice if that heron stays in that tree. Too late, gone already. It's a really pretty picture. Sitting in the sun. Maybe we'll see the crocodile today. It doesn't look like there's been any sign of cats or anything. Oh, really, Jigger? Yeah. Franklin's that it just been. It doesn't know where to sit. No crocodiles being here. In fact, it's probably lying. We've seen ripples like it. You see where the sand was flattened here. The tail was there at the back. How it slid into the water. RC, if you're with us, any other birders? Last time I was here we had some pearl-breasted swallows and I was convinced they were pearl-breasted and not wire-tailed. There are only two swallows that have pure white underparts without any other markings underneath. The wire-tailed and the pearl-breasted. The idea is to find out if there's a little bit of a red cap, which would mean it's a wire-tailed, but also the tail streamers of the wire-tailed are very long, and the pearl-breasted doesn't have it. Oh, where's this fellow? Now that I've cleaned my binoculars, it's flown away again. I was drinking a minute ago. They fly too fast, I think, to get on camera, and unless they were roosting or perched, I'm going to get them on cam. But I can tell you, and I'm sure that will count. Yeah. Flying there, coming in. No, going away. Oh well. Pretty quiet. James was asking if there's a variety of kingfishers. Quite a wide variety, James. Although the one really nice looking kingfisher, the woodlands kingfisher, isn't here this time of the year, and so the kingfishers we have here now are the brown hooded kingfisher. I'm sure we have pygmy kingfisher out in the bush somewhere. Haven't seen pygmy for a while. And striped. And then the fishing kingfishers, those at the water, are the malachite and the pied kingfisher. I have heard giant kingfisher along the river, but I haven't seen them yet. And it's possible along the Timbavati river we will get, maybe more in the summer months, the half-collared kingfisher. Okay, let's go. coming now. Oh. Seeing it, and be quiet, and then all of a sudden something appears. One of the local buffalo bulls that hang out around this dam. Yeah, probably in the afternoon. That then becomes sunshine. Yes, Thursday buffalo. Taking quite a long drink. Yeah. Stations in Yari at Langwan Dam. Nice with his reflection. A little bit of sheltered water that's still like a mirror. was hoping he would sort of walk out of frame or something. No, maybe we'll just have to drive out of frame. Have a nice day here at the dam, Mr. Buffalo. Hope the buddies come and join you. What have we got here in the road? Young waterbuck and wildebeest. Okay, that's a little strange. Young waterbuck with 2 wildebeest. I wonder if they've 3-4 wildebeest. There's mommy waterbuck going to rescue her baby, being abducted by the wildebeest. And they'll all serve 25 to life for kidnapping. We don't have kangaroo courts, we have waterbuck courts. No, only joking. Probably just benefiting from each other's in terms of safety. Especially a waterbuck with a calf. She might be on her own. Waterbuck. Just see a white ringed rump disappearing into the grass. The grasses are so tall we can't even see baby from here. In fact, you can barely see her. That's how we're not seeing things. I mean, waterbuck and wildebeest, there's a big bull there. Waterbuck and wildebeest are fairly tall animals, and they just sort of disappear into the grasses. Mostly these thatching grasses that cause the problem. Maybe they should get someone from outside come in and harvest these thatching grasses. Someone can make a bit of money. Hannes, come in. Yeah, so Mark here. Hannes, that Samian dwarf that's on Ilkley, what do you call that number? Break up it. And does that matriarch have a name? Yeah, so she was the one with the collect, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it's a recent thing. Now, alright, well thanks. I need to maybe chat to you about that. Where can I get all the pictures and ID pictures of it? Obviously I didn't get a copy. I got a copy of the CSV from I think October last year, but no pictures in it at all. Alright, okay, thanks a lot. So, hang on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it now. I think it was up here somewhere. Nyala Road. That's going to get signal there. So, while I was so quiet, I was listening to I was talking to Hannes about the elephant. Excuse me a sec. Yeah, Mark, I just left Langwan Dam. No, I just want my daughter with one dog boy. So I was talking to Hannes about the elephants because there's the waterside herd which is up in the north. This herd of Ellies that we've got here is just known as the Thornybush herd. And the old lady with the floppy ear, evidently it's something that only happened in the last couple of years. That something happened to her here. That plant is. Or it could be a Clarissa, the green thorn. Yes. Turn that noise off the mic here. So, she seems to have been the old matriarch, and what happened was there was a split in the herd. I've read about this, but it was difficult for me reading about who's supposed to be the matriarch and who's supposed to be her daughters that split away and joined again. There's no physical descriptions in the notes that I have, and I haven't yet seen behavior that has been able to establish who it is that is the matriarch of the herd, because they haven't really been moving much, and when they're all feeding you don't really find that, but when they're moving and they're doing things other than feeding as a group, then one is likely to see a big kudu in here. But I can only see leg 3 kudu. Oh, look at him. Good morning. Bye. Yeah, he is. But I think that the female might be coming to estrus again because he's got his nose right close to her. We've got a calf. We can't see it. Can we see anything here? Just legs. Yes. How about that dwarf gecko in front of me on where the bark has been torn out of this acacia? Yeah, there. Lagodactylus. Yeah, look. Oh, no. Yeah, you've sadly got their heads in the trees. The camera's a bit high. But I can only, even as low as I am, I can only see legs. I don't even know if I've had a reptile on camera yet, but there we are. Where the bark has been stripped, straight ahead of us, you can see that little gecko there. Okay, on this trunk, where it does that, you can see where the bark has been stripped away. This dark patch. Maybe it might be a bit far. I might be able to go forward a bit. You can get a bit of... Might stay there, might not. But it'd be nice to get it. Okay. There. Yeah. One of the smallest, in fact it is the smallest gecko, dwarf gecko. I see they've just discovered another chameleon in Madagascar. The smallest chameleon in the world. It's about this, it fits on the head of a match. Well, I wonder if it's not maybe a baby of still tiny. Can you imagine a chameleon that fits on the head of a match? Gecko's looking for movement. Catching a bit of sun, warming up. It's one of the diurnal geckos. They go to sleep at night. And the bigger geckos come out at night, so the dwarf geckos are mostly diurnal. That looks like the Cape dwarf, Lagodactylus capensis. luckily he stayed there. Okay, shall we go? Yeah. Porcupine quill. That's one of the painful ones. That can cause a bit of injury. This side is, are you on it? This is where it's in the animal. Now we've got to remember that this is a modified hair. I think it's been driven over, it's a little bit squashed, but this is the dangerous side. And this end here is, well, this is very sharp. Very, very sharp. Sharp. Unreal. No, I don't say rest in peace. I say have a ball up there, boyo. That was his trademark. Sharp. Okay, why is one left at the end and why is the other not? Try and walk this way. Dropped a couple of pulls along the way. Down the road. I'm not even going to attempt to get closer to them. They'll run. Mother and calf. there's a third head poking out there on the right. That's lying down, that kudu. Big ears. Will that little one drink? Won't she? I'm going to try and go down there. Oh, we might just get a bit closer. If we're going straight towards them, they might not see anything. But we're going straight towards them. So we while they do have open in the front, you notice that they have their eyes on the side of them, a much greater angle of view, see where danger is coming from. So they don't really have such a feel. As we're going straight towards them, we might be getting bigger in their vision, but they don't really have much of view. Uh-oh. That other female's got up and run, so these two are going to run shortly. But at least we got a little bit closer. The predators, on the other hand, their eyes are on the front of their face, like us, for concentrated vision, forward, being able to triangulate, for the brain to triangulate and calculate distance, gives us 3D vision, gives us 3D, gives us binocular vision, and same principle as the 3D camera. Our eyes work in 3D. And that is because for the predators, the prey is always moving, and so the brain has to calculate distance, because energy plays such a big role in a predator's life, as to how much energy there is to hunt and how much energy it needs to save, and whether it needs to call off the hunt or continue. And that all depends on the distance that the prey is when running after it. The prey species don't have to worry too much about their food moving away when they want to eat it, because it's only moving with the wind. Goodbye, pretty girls. Lovely. Hey, Marsha. Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Let me think. Who's the team in Louisville? Sluggers. I don't know. That's based. Marsha, interesting question. Multiple births. Marsha was asking that they're all single births, the antelope and the bovids. And all births I've seen in my career. Sorry, I'm looking at the percentage of viable seed in this Peltiforum pod. Marsha, pretty much all of them. In herbivores, high levels of high numbers of predators that, or rather, let me try that. Have a great. It's hard to articulate this now. All these herbivores have evolved with a number of different predators and multiple births. Something going on with the audio. I don't know how to put on through. Imagine why. Still good, still bad, no good, still bad. What? So the okay. Which mark are we on? And that has only started happening now.
No, but this is happening before, towards the end of drive. That there's something that's happening towards the end of drive that's making the audio do that.
Anyway, okay. I've got you on this microphone now.
No, I didn't hear that. Say that again, please. Sorry, I'm not this here, and I end up I don't hear either one of you because I've got just a problem with me. If I have two people talking, my brain can't focus on one of them.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
What I've done is, as an emergency, I've put this microphone, I've opened this so we can still hear you.
Yeah, no, this is fine when I'm stopped.
Oh.
It's when I'm driving, but now even I can hear an echo.
Okay, so now I'm going to switch it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better. I could even hear the echo. Yeah, okay, it's down now. But I'm just going to answer Marsha's question because evidently we're getting an audio prop and we recommended to do this with when we stopped because for some reason it's starting to get bouncy, this audio, towards the end of drive, and it's happened before. I must speak to Brian about that because he's also noticed it before. But as I was saying, that with the herbivores that have a great number of predators that are after them, a lot of different predators, it's not really productive to have multiple births because first of all you've got a female that has to provide nourishment for more than one individual, but also you've got a greater chance of losing them through predation because she's not only got to divide her milk and her nutrients between the two, but she's also got to then try and protect the two. So multiple births in the herbivores is not very practical, and although it's not impossible, it is very, very seldom happens. And I can't think for the life of me. I've known of elephant twins. Now I don't recall seeing them. I've seen what I thought could have been elephant twins, but you never know whether it's just two calves of the same age from two different mothers in the same family group that just hang out together. And I can't say that I've seen what might have been twins with impala, but it's very difficult to tell once they're all in the breeding herd. So I'd say it's so unusual that in my 50 years on this planet I can't recall saying for definite whether I've seen a multiple birth in a herbivore, other than of course in domestic animals. But domestic animals, they don't have the predation that these animals have to go through. Plus they're provided with all sorts of excessive or additional nutrients. So Marsha, just a lovely question, but something that I haven't seen in my lifetime. Dogs are not herbivores, so we can't. They have multiple births. Willing to learn otherwise. If anyone has any other ideas, or has anyone seen otherwise, I'm sure Penny has some idea of, or some multiple births in his Chicuga. Oh, there's a challenge, Leon. This bush nearby, it would probably. That's impossible. Papilio, the Medocus. Oh, hello, Nyala. Andy. Popping and evening. I'm going to say goodbye. Exit frame right. That time that I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Hope that you're going to afternoon, hour after 3 p.m. Central Africa. And so again, I'm not sure who'll be on camera. Maybe it'll be a surprise for you. Matt's been with me on camera this morning, and Aaron and Brian and Andy helping me out in final control back at base. This has been Thornybush Private Nature Reserve here in Africa with Wild Earth. Hope you're going to see us again later. Bye for now.